It's winter time. It's cold. Season-ending show, KM109.
Welcome to the KM109 Day. Hi, this week we are talking about new rules, counterfeit, and when being copied is not necessarily the best form of flattery. The sum of sugar and honey, and Northland Numbers Stack up for Whanau. This is episode 109 of our Beekeeping podcast.
Yes, indeed. Hello, Margaret.
Hello, Gary. It's awesome to be here tonight.
And welcome to the KM109 Buzz. Well, we are beekeepers from the hills of the Waitakere Ranges in West Auckland, New Zealand. And our podcast is all about...
Well, it's all about beekeeping, gardening, and a bit of politics about environmental issues which affect the beekeeping world and environment, and also we've been known to go off in tangents about other issues.
This is so true.
Yes, that is true. So we are hobbyist beekeepers, and in one of the articles today we'll find out about what a bad thing that person says we do to the bees. More of that coming, guys. It's cold in winter in New Zealand, and we recorded this in May 2017.
On a cold winter's night. It feels like winter.
It's still autumnal. We've had some beautiful weather.
Yes, indeed. And the show notes for this podcast are at kiwi.bz/109. And this week, we'd like to thank Gavin Webber. Gavin has been supporting the KM109 Buzz for 22 months. Thanks, Gavin. And check out Gavin's great podcast called Little Green Cheese, all about how he makes cheese in his suburban house in Melbourne, Australia. Thanks for your support.
Excellent. Yeah, cheers, Gavin. Awesome. And enjoy your cheese, please. Okay, so a big shout out to our listeners in Dunedin, in New Zealand. That's the South Island, Dunedin is. And it's a lovely little city. And Gary...
Yes, did you know, Margaret, that Baldwin Street in Dunedin is the steepest street in the world?
Crikey.
I don't think it was the steepest, but it is.
I see. That's a very interesting fact. And hi to everyone in Dunedin who we hope is listening and enjoying this episode 109.
Absolutely. And thanks for listening to our show. We know life is busy for you guys, and we appreciate you've taken the time to join us today.
Yeah, as you guys overseas are coming into your summer, we wish a fabulous flow with fruitful bounties from your bees. But what's happening at KM109? Well, we, on the other hand, are coming to the end of our New Zealand bee season 2016, with temperatures dropping down to 7 degrees Celsius the other day. And wintering down should have been done by now, guys, and your treatments do not work well with too many boxes on. So wintering down involves condensing your brood into the centre of one box, depending how much brood you have. Try to get it all together. And then there's less area for the cluster to manage as the population decreases. And when you've condensed down your brood and you keep your boxes together like that, the treatments are more effective, guys. So, So, what have you been up to, Gary?
Well, I've got my first Fitbit friends from the podcast listeners.
Oh, congratulations are in order.
So thanks to Padraig in Ireland and Danny in Minnesota. Thanks, guys. That's awesome.
Awesome. Well, get fit, guys, and with your Fitbit friends, Gary. Awesome.
Well, I'm in a challenge now with Danny, and he walks too much. He needs to slow down. Anyway,
it's all about just, keep going. Yeah.
It's the end of the bee season, and we're taking a break, aren't we? So
yes.
From the podcast. We will be back in August.
Yeah, we're taking a break. We're doing some stock takes and setting up the workshop and changing a few things and,
doing lots of things.
Trying
to keep warm. But anyway, there's some good news. Despicable Me 3 is coming to cinemas on June the 29th in New Zealand. So get out there and be supporting of the...
Absolutely. And we were asked where the banana came from, eh?
Yes, we will talk about that later on in the show.
Awesome. So, what else have you been up to?
Our Facebook group has been rebranded. It's now the Bee's Knees Club, and it's open to everyone in the world to ask beekeeping questions.
Oh, fantastic.
So,
and that is actually the Bees... The
Knees.
Bee Enthusiasts and Education Society of Knowledge Networking, ensuring Earth's survival.
Or the
That's
Bee's
it.
Knees Club. So you can, it's a Facebook group, and the URL, if you want to go to it, is beesknees.club.
Fantastic. I look forward to hearing all the questions coming and going, and that'll be awesome. And you might get a quicker response through that.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea. You can ask questions, and there's 800 people there that can help you answer your beekeeping questions, so check it out.
And don't forget, guys, that a lot of this is based on opinion. And, you know, I think the important thing is that everyone will have an opinion, which is why these kind of clubs are awesome. So there's a lot of banter going on. And, yeah, everyone will have a point of view. So just let's be respectful. And, yeah, look forward to some interesting conversations.
Absolutely. And in breaking news, there's a bit of a sad situation in New Zealand at the moment. There's a new fungi called myrtle rust, which isn't fun at all.
No way.
And it's no longer contained. They found it in a garden centre in Kaitaia, and it's spread to another garden centre in roughly the same area. So it spreads by air.
Just explain to our listeners what exactly is it, Gary?
Myrtle rust is a fungi that actually attacks plants' leaves, so it actually eventually kills the plant, and it affects things
awful.
like New Zealand native trees like Bahutakawa, Manuka, Kānuka, I think even Rata, eh?
Yeah, it sounds terrible. The worst part is that rust never sleeps.
No, better to burn out than fade away.
Well, we hope we don't have to burn out anything, to be honest.
I thought you were quoting Neil Young.
Anyway, this spore or fungus has actually been blown to New Zealand from Australia. So,
yes, and the recent thing, 'cause we've had your, what do you call it, kookaburras? What's the other thing that's come over?
Magpies. What else? Possums. Geez Louise.
Oh, they were released. They didn't fly over. And
I just saw a picture of a flying possum.
What's those white screechy things? Cockatoo things?
Oh, cockatiels?
Cockatiels, they flew over too.
What about those green-faced parrots? They're Australian natives, aren't they?
I'm not sure. But anyway, this has come over. Apparently it flew over in a storm or something, in the wind.
Yeah, we have had some pretty heavy-duty storms lately, so it might have been when Debbie did Australia.
It could have been. And so, was this exotic visitor the one you talked about?
No, it's not that exotic visitor I talked about, but this exotic visitor was from the authority coming to check the education apiary. Ooh, and I've done a little blog on it, very small, short, concise, just talking about the visitor we had who was checking for exotic diseases. And generally what we expect is that these things are not New Zealand, but they do these regular checks and just go to different apiaries and test everything. And yeah, you can read about that in the article.
Fantastic. So that'll be coming out soon, or it should be out by the time this is released. So fantastic.
Yes, and the temperatures have been dropping down to about 7 degrees. And some of the colonies are sort of getting a bit of interest from flying wasps, which seem to be really building up the last 2 weeks. So I've been keeping the hive shut till about 9 o'clock, 9:30. Okay, but apart from that, we've had some really clear days and allowing the lawn mowing that has been put on hold while the mow was being repaired, and it's back up and running, guys. So, really, I just don't know my own strength. And, yes, you've been doing some work as well, Gary.
Yes, I've been chopping up Manuka trees, or a tree, and that's on the driveway, and it was makes a nice fire, doesn't it?
Yeah, chainsaw massacre of a dead Manuka. And
Yes.
you got nearly run over.
Yeah, that's right.
I was so enthusiastic to get
I-
home. And what did I find?
I forgot to ring the police about that. I was working in the driveway, as you do, and out of the blue came this black stealth car, almost ran me over. And it was Margaret, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was this guy who was going right up my beep beep, and I just quickly turned into there, only to find all this firewood all over the top of the driveway. I nearly crashed into Gary. There he was, running to the side of the driveway for his life, I tell ya.
Yes, that's true. And you're lucky I didn't have the chainsaw going.
Yeah. Anyway, you're all right, aren't you, Dale?
I survived, and I didn't get hit, so it was all good. And what's this vaporization update?
Yeah, we've just been finding that the mite loads this season are huge and really heavy, and so we've been having a look at some ways to deal with it. And what I've been doing is I've been increasing the dosage of the oxalic acid that I use in the vaporization, and I am finding it is making a big difference. But it's a bit late for Banana 1. So Banana 1 has actually died. They were started to get weak, and the treatments just weren't there enough to save them. And then the queen, I found her abdomen outside the front of the hive. So I don't know what's happened. She might have been damaged in the inspections that we did, but that was where the checks for the exotic diseases was done. But the prediction was it wouldn't survive, and it certainly hasn't. So there you go, guys. And I also found that, there was a little hole in the back of the hive which was allowing wasps to get in, and I never saw it till today. So this is about 2 weeks later, and they must have been getting in there as well.
So it was full of wasps, was it?
Yeah. Yesterday I went and I just discovered the hole, and it was just absolute chocker with wasps. So I just basically sealed all the exits. So when I go back, there'll be a whole lot of dead wasps.
Oh, okay. And what's the update about
Banana 2? Wow. I got back from there because it was late last night, and I said to you, man, you should have seen the mite drops on the inspection board. And it was covered. I swear that is the biggest amount of mite drop that I've ever seen while we've been doing beekeeping. It was huge. And this is after I've been increasing the dosage of oxalic acid, and I did up to 4 times a quarter teaspoon, and it seems to be really knocking them on the head. And this is like the 3rd week of doing it. So I'm assuming that all the cells that were sealed when I first started are now hatching and must have had mites in them.
Oh, okay, cool. And we had some students come over for the practical session, didn't we?
Yes, but I'd just like to say that hope is perhaps the best of things,
yes,
Gary.
Perhaps it
so
is.
I hope that Banana 2 survives. But I'll keep you posted, guys.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you. And, you were saying about the courses?
Yep.
Yeah, you enjoyed going out there and having a chit-chat, didn't you, Gary?
I did. I even made some cups of tea.
Oh, he was such a good mother. Okay, and the classroom sessions were finished, and then we had the apiary visit over the weekend, and the weather was absolutely stunning, and I even got a bit of sunburn.
Yes, that is true. It was beautiful, wasn't it?
It was a real autumnal day, and the sky was so blue, and it was just so calm, and it was wonderful. It was just perfectly planned for our apiary visit. So the students enjoyed us also going into the hive for a short visit because it wasn't warm, but it was very sunny. So they managed to get a look into the hive. So that was awesome.
Fantastic. And what's the plans for the new season?
Well, bee season 2017 in our world, in our little Kiwimana HQ starts on the 1st of September. So we're already making plans for the new season coming up, and we're looking into some new products, and we'll be doing some research and development and then design and field testing. So I'm excited about this, and I'm creating some one-off products that will make your hives look awesome while also adding protection and interesting views.
Cool.
So I'll leave that with you guys, and we'll update you as we go along. And we just hope that, everything's ticking along for everybody.
Yes, indeed. And speaking of interesting views, corny joke of the week.
A new section where we play a corny bee-related joke sent in from you.
Yes, and this week we have the famous Lisa, who missed out on winning a $30 voucher, but we consoled her by buying her a cake, didn't we? Or a piece of cake.
Yes, we did, and she consoles herself with sharing a bit of a laugh through her tears.
Here's Lisa's joke.
This lovely little bee wakes up in the morning and stretches his little arms out, and his mama bee comes down and says, "Hello, darling, it's time to go to school." And he says, "Oh, but mummy, look at my hair, it's all messed up." What does the mum bee use to brush his hair with? A honeycomb.
That is a cheesy dad joke. That is a cheesy dad joke.
Yes, but it lightened our lunch and we had a bit of a giggle.
Thanks, Lisa, for doing that. That's awesome. And if you want to send in your own joke, has to be corny, send it in to info@kiwimana.co.nz. And what's this about if you want to laugh, Margaret?
Yeah, if you want to laugh, email Margaret at kiwimana.co.nz with your address and she'll send one to you.
This is intriguing.
Very intriguing, and we will enlarge on that as we start getting some respondents, and we've got a limit of one each for 4 respondents, so that means 4 in total are going out, and anywhere in the world, it's okay.
Okay, this sounds intriguing. Can I enter this thing?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys, up to 4 people, send it to Margaret at kiwimana.co.nz if you want to laugh. Okay, now we go for blog recap. Top 3 blog posts. Because last month we had 4, but this month we only had 2.
Yeah, it's...
So top 2 now.
You're shaking and shaking over there.
And the first one we did was how to do a sugar shake might count. This is the video that we promised you last time, and this has had 1,000 views.
Wow, so you released it, and man, it's really popular.
It is. Had some controversial comments too, but we won't go into that.
You said there are different ways to do this, and a lot of commercial guys, as I understand it, use ethanol instead of icing sugar. So guaranteed kill of 100% for the bees.
Yes, and there's another method that's come out recently about using CO2 gas, so that's intriguing. Let's have a look at that too.
But
it doesn't kill the bees, it just knocks them out,
so
apparently.
Is that when their voice goes,
No, that's helium.
Oh, helium. Oh.
CO2's like, I don't know, I think sugar's easier.
So does it sort of knock them out or something?
Apparently it does. I've seen a video of it. I haven't seen one in the real world.
Geez, imagine your headache if you're a bee after that.
Yeah, I know. And some people were complaining about the treatment I used. And it's just, anyway. But it's all good. But most of it was positive, and we've got some comments later on about that.
Yeah, I think the thing is that you're always going to have different views. The views that we have is we try to do it in a way that's not going to kill bees. You know, finding out what's going on without actually killing them and, you know, harming them. And I think that this is one of the ways to do it, guys. Yep.
Gives you an indication, just add your figures to a spreadsheet and see what the trend And the next post was Boundary Beekeeping Battles. This was our last podcast we released, wasn't it?
Yeah, episode 107 was talking about some boundary issues. You know, we all need boundaries, guys.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Okay, we have to apologise because we said we were going to do the draw for the Hive Tracks 12 months on the Howland Blackenstone podcast, but we forgot, didn't we? Well, I did.
When's Howland Blackenstone coming out?
It came out last week. So this is for all you guys that entered the Hive Tracks contest. We were reading out a number. Okay, so the question we asked was who goes to the meeting from the interview with James Wilkes, and here is the part we were looking for.
Based on data, not based on, Bob came to the meeting tonight and said, his bees produce twice as much honey as everybody else's. Why is that?
So the answer was Bob.
Bob.
And we all know a famous Bob, don't we?
Yes, we do. Banana. Banana Bob.
And it's not why we picked it.
No, definitely not.
And the first, we will draw a winner. Wait a minute. I'll have to do the winner number. Wait a minute. Okay, it's number 2.
2. Who's 2?
Tom. And his answer was Jock. Sorry, Tom. Not right. Let's do another one.
So we have to do it again.
This is number 6. And this is Brogel. Sorry. And it says Mark. Oh, it's not good, is it? No one's getting this right. It must be. Maybe the question was too hard. Do another one. Wait a minute. Okay, number 13. This is Lisa Morrissey.
Hey, Lisa.
And her answer was Bob. Bob, there's the answer.
Oh, that's awesome, Lisa, and well-deserved because she has been doing some practicing on the Hive track, so to get that for 12 months is congratulations in order. Absolutely.
Oh, that's fantastic, and thanks to everyone that entered, and sorry, most people got the question wrong, so...
Yes, it's very tough, that one, because you sort of had to really listen, eh?
You did. You had to really listen. Maybe next time we'll make it easier. What do you think?
Yeah, well, you sometimes have to work for these things. And did you hear that, Gary?
What's that?
It's raining.
I know. It's raining outside, everyone.
Oh, my gosh. It's raining all over the world.
Well, it is in Waitakere. Anyway.
That is my world.
Yes, I know. If you want to give Hive Tracks a go, visit kiwi.bz/HiveTrack. You get 14 days for free, so you can try it out and see what you think of it. It's a great system to record your beekeeping inspections and your equipment as well, eh?
I think it's a fantastic thing, and like I said, I have been using it, and if you choose to use this product, it's actually very reasonable, and the 14 days will give you a good chance to have a look and practice everything. So yeah, I think it's well worth having a look at, guys, and you'll be supporting James Wilkes, and you'll also be supporting Kiwi Mana.
Absolutely. Let's move on to the news. Beekeeping news. News you can use.
Where there's a bit of abuse.
No, there's not. There's no abuse.
Oh.
Sometimes.
Okay, have you ever heard that saying, to be copied is the best form of flattery?
Yes, I have.
Well, it's not necessarily flattering when you've worked so hard on something and some ratbag does this.
Indeed. This one's about Hive inventor stung by Chinese copycat.
This is a revealing article from the Sunday Morning Herald by Nina Hendy.
Yes, and Hong Kong-based Beebot Limited is looking at fundraising for a Hive imitation copy. What would you call it? Flattery? They've hired
not so much.
They've hired a consultant that lists fundraising as one of his skills on Elance, and is this a blatant rip-off? We have to find out. And we asked both sides for a comment, and we haven't heard back from Flowhive yet, but we are going to be talking to someone from Tapcomb.
They did have a few comments
soon.
in the article, though, didn't they, Flowhive folk?
Oh yeah, they're taking them to court about this.
Yeah, so they're responding by going to court. And yes, well, here's the quote from the article, guys. Alleged copycat Tapcomb is undertaking an extensive social media marketing campaign claiming to be the world's first truly bee-friendly tappable hive, contacting Flowhive customers through Facebook and retargeting them. Crikey.
It's a good tactic, isn't it?
Oh, I'm not sure it's going to get them many favours.
Anyway, we've got some interesting feedback. We had a very big feedback here from
Paulo Jamad Silva.
Yes, Poetic Justice. They got rich by selling something overpriced with marketing based on lies.
And I think that's enough of that. And if you want to read the rest of this article, there's plenty more of it to be read on the show notes, guys.
Obviously, Paleo does not have a flow.
Not impressed by the looks of that. And who else have we got?
My only comment would be just because it's expensive doesn't mean that you can rip it off. Anyway, I don't know.
Indeed. I think that, you've got to give credit where credit's due. And if, we all have a view about certain things. And, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the Flow Hive, it's more expensive than normal hives, but they are well made, eh? We've seen a few of them.
There's a nice concept with it too, and regardless of all that, the question is this the right way to do things?
Yes, well, hopefully we'll talk to them about it, because they saying it's not like a flow hive, so it looks similar, but it's maybe it's different. Maybe it's radically different.
So read the article, guys, and then send in your feedback if you have something you want to share with that. Who else has got something to say on that one?
Graham Manning. He says, sadly, a very common occurrence. The Chinese have no qualms about copying others' successes and selling it for a profit. Their reverse engineering is excellent. A shame that their products aren't always as good, or they don't give credit to the original inventors.
Designers,
yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that's good. And, yep. But I think what they're claiming is they're actually basing this on an original patent that came out in the 40s or something. So that they're sort of saying that the Flow Hive was based on that too, so...
Well, I'm sure they can thrash it out in the courtroom, and we'll see who comes up, flowing.
And what does Gil say? This is a bit kind of... what do you call this?
Well, this is not our comment, guys. Just be aware that it says beep, 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 Chinese.
Yeah,
so
that's
thanks, Gil, for that one. And Joe Spoto says, it not the same, it different. You see no looky likely. Jeez Louise. Okay, well, that's awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks, Graham, Gil, and Joe, for your very clear comments on this one. And, what else are we going to do with this one, Gary?
Let's give Di a call from Tapcomb and ask him what the story is. Wait a minute.
Hello.
Hey, it's Gary here from New Zealand. How are you?
Hey, Gary. How you doing?
Good. Is that Di?
It is. Thanks for calling.
No worries. How are you? Going good?
Oh, I'm not too bad. Enjoying a rainy morning in London, like most mornings.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully it's a bit better over there.
Yeah, I thought it was your summer now.
It's still spring, technically, I suppose you could say, but it's coming towards the end of spring. It has actually been quite nice. It's just, at the moment, the last couple of days, it's been particularly rainy, fortunately, but we're used to it.
Oh, no good. So do you actually keep bees yourself, or are you just working for Tapcomb?
So no. My background isn't in bees, unlike the inventor. I've been involved for about a year now. I'm learning a lot about bees, and I'm looking forward to becoming a beekeeper once I move home. The next place will have a garden. I'm going to have an area designated to do it properly. But as of yet, no, I'm not a beekeeper. I'm becoming an enthusiast, I would say. I'm at that stage of the journey.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And so what's actually the difference between the tap comb system and other tap systems?
Yeah, well, this is a question we obviously get a lot because we haven't released loads of information about tap comb yet. We kind of just putting our foot in the water to see the reaction. But there's lots of information coming over the next few weeks and some updated pictures with our production-ready version, which is almost there, a couple of weeks out. But the main difference in terms of a tappable hive, I mean, the comparisons we get is obviously with Flow, which had this crazy successful campaign. And I think the first thing to say is we're definitely not here to bash Flow. We think Flow's a good product, and certainly raised awareness around beekeeping and issues surrounding it. So I think we think that's great. But the difference in our system is mainly that we provide a framework that allows bees to build out the honeycomb structure from their own beeswax. So we're not our frames don't provide that structure already. They're pre-coated in beeswax, but they require the bees to kind of do most of the manufacturing in there, if that makes sense. So the bees actually complete 70% of the honeycomb with their own beeswax, and the result is the honey is then, fully encased and maturing in beeswax. So that's the kind of, I suppose, the main key thing with tap comb. And I guess I'll refer to people's better judgment like yourself on whether beeswax how important beeswax is. I've heard many different opinions from many different beekeepers on its importance.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely important. I mean, so that it's actually it's like a piece of foundation, is it? It's like a smaller foundation.
Yeah, exactly. So the patents we filed are surrounding the mechanism and the internals of the frame, because we can obviously still extract the honey directly. We can tap the frame for honey. So it's taking quite a long time and a lot of different versions to create a mechanism that allows both the amount of beeswax in there and you can access the honey. So it's pretty cool. We've got something that works really well now. So we're just making some final touches and improvements. There's a couple of things that we haven't published pictures of yet. I'm not sure if you've seen some of the pictures on Facebook and stuff, but there's some functions we haven't published pictures of that are also gonna help the frame appeal to beekeepers in terms of a quality perspective as well.
Oh, okay.
So we look forward to posting those soon.
And when are you releasing those?
So we're just going through the final stages on the production version. We probably should have started communicating with the public probably around now, rather than doing it sooner. But we were just kind of so excited to, once all the patents were filed and we had confirmation of all of that, we were so excited to kind of just tell a few people, release a little bit of information just to kind of see the reaction. And obviously, reaction's quite mixed. I think there's a lot of controversy on this kind of topic in general. So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of why. Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted you guys just to come on and have a talk about it, because a lot of people don't really know what it's about. So, whereabouts is Tapcomb based?
In a few countries.
Yeah.
So we have. I'm here in London. Our US company's in Portland, in Oregon. We have another company based in Hong Kong, and we haven't got a European company yet, but we're looking into that at the moment.
Oh, okay. Have you got a manufacturing plant yet?
Yeah, so manufacturing, the current pre-production versions we've manufactured in China. We haven't 100% settled on manufacturing later in China when we get orders in the future.
Yeah.
We're also getting some options in the US at the moment, so we haven't made a kind of 100% final decision on that. I mean, the main thing for us at the moment is just getting the right materials and the right quality into the product. So wherever we can do that and maintain a reasonable price, that's probably where we'll go. I mean, a lot of people contacting us about price. Obviously, we have to try and make this as accessible to as many communities as possible if we can. So that's definitely one consideration. But yeah, we won't be sacrificing on quality wherever it's manufactured.
Cool. And are you planning to sell it in a lot of countries?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
that's certainly going to be part of it. I mean, we haven't announced, we're going to start selling on this date or where we're going to start selling, or, we will release that information in the future. We're probably looking sort of end of spring, start of summer before we can begin that sort of US spring, not spring on your side. But so we haven't kind of made 100% concrete plans, but we will announce those as soon as we have them. The main thing for us today, right now, and the coming couple of weeks is getting this final version as perfect as possible, and getting some content out there for people to see it, and then we can move forward into the other things.
Cool. And what do you say to people that say that it's just a cheap rip-off of the Flow Hive?
Well, we've seen some articles to that effect. I think in Australia, you've probably seen them too. I mean, we were surprised. I think Flow has definitely been a target for some kind of copycats. I've seen some people selling those in places like Alibaba, and I don't think that's very good. So I think the article kind of seemed to conflate our upcoming product, that no one's actually kind of we obviously tested it, the people we know are testing it, but no journalist has kind of held our product. So I think there was a conflation between those people that actually were copying Flow's product, right, and ours, and they kind of tried to conflate the two things in that article, which was was disappointing. As I said, we think Flow's a good product. We think anything really that helps get people, caring beekeepers or create caring beekeepers is a good thing. So, any beekeeping method is great if it works.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, when are you guys starting to do? You're doing funding for this? Is that true?
We haven't made a final decision. We've got some options. I don't want to say today we're definitely going to go in this route, because we might change course over the next month, and once we've 100% decided, we'll let everyone know where we'll be, where they can get involved.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, Dial. Thanks for your time tonight. Okay, what do you think about that then, Margaret? Tapping into the community?
Yes, I think they're trying to tap a flow market, or not go with the flow, or I'm not sure. Well, I think the jury's out, and that is sort of what this is all about. And we did ask the Flow Hive team to give us their comments, but they said they passed it on to the marketing department. But at this time, they have not got back to us at all.
Yes, unfortunately, they missed the deadline.
Yeah, so, Well, I think, for me, I aren't really sure what they're offering. It concerns me that they would consider bringing frames into a country with wax on from another country, or at least attempt to do that. Understanding the honeybee community, it's not something that should be considered, and New Zealand certainly won't accept that at all.
I would say that, if they're trying to, because if they're importing honey frames with honey beeswax on it, that probably won't be allowed in Australia or New Zealand.
Yeah, and that's the best way for it to be, because of the fact of wax can contain things that you can't control. So they do have to do a bit more work, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of the right way to bring this sort of thing to the market, and they need to consider the rules of every country in terms of honey and wax and all that sort of thing, because we often get emails from companies who are trying to sell us wax products from overseas, and we report them to MPI because that is not appropriate and is against the law, basically.
Yes, indeed. And so, I mean, he mentioned that he's going to releasing some more information soon.
Yeah,
so we'll wait and see.
We have to really have a look at it. But we've tried to present both sides for you guys to have a listen to and to make your own conclusions. And as we get more updates, we will get back to you and, let you know how things are going.
Okay, next story is a Buzzworthy beehive. It looks like a skep, but the 21st century products. How will it work? Read this interesting short article about the prototype. And what does the quote say from the article?
It says, designer Will Jordan saw opportunities to improve the artificial hive, which has gone largely unchanged for many years. The result is a hive that's not only more functional, but aesthetically friendly. First, the hive is elevated to mimic that of a natural hive, placed 2 meters above the ground.
Yes, indeed, and it's kind of like an acorn shape, isn't it? And the entrance is at the bottom, and they've actually got frames inside them, but like circular, so they've got like smaller frames on the outside.
Okay.
But did you have a look at his website?
I didn't get a chance. I looked at the article, and my question is, legally speaking, would this be accepted in New Zealand from a legal perspective?
Yep, it would be because it's got movable frames.
But we sort of thought that when we read the article that it might be a bit small, for a fully working colony.
I think so. I think it would be. They'd outgrow it very, very quickly, especially in summer,
Yeah, I think that you would find that you might need to join two together and have some sort of tunnel from one to the other. You have a whole lot of acorns hanging off your tree.
But bees don't love tunnels, do they?
Oh, well, no. If it's only very short, they may do it.
And it uses a new amazing outer shell made of part of mushrooms, and it's like cork, isn't it? And he's claiming it's
No, the outside is actually a cork product, but the inside layer is made from a mushroom product.
No, I think the mushroom product is combined with the cork. If you read the article, that's what it says.
Okay, well, if you look at the picture, the cork is the
outside.
The cork is lathed in the shape of the top and bottom of the hive and die cut and wrapped around the middle. Cork is a great insulator and naturally bee friendly. The mushroom inner makes cleaning the hive easy. So there you go. Bite me.
Anyway, I talked to Will. I sent him an email and asked him some questions. And he's saying he's looking for a manufacturer at the moment. And the mesaluminium material is being tested by beekeepers at the moment. Mycelium. And he's also working at this product for use on other hive types. So this could be used for, Langstrath or top bars.
Interesting,
so
yeah.
It's interesting.
I kind of wonder if the bees might chew it. I don't know. They might just propolize it because it's a natural product. It's like wood. They love to propolize the wood and clean it.
Unless he's got some kind of layer on it, But yeah, I think you're right. They might chew it.
I can't wait to see what the results are of this, their testing. So I think that's the next step, Yeah,
he's currently doing some testing with beekeepers. I think he's in England. I think it's great. And if you look at his website, you've got some better photos there. Yeah,
it really looks cool, actually.
Yep, and just be careful about bungee cords there, Will, because they do perish. We've discovered that with our robbing screens,
Absolutely.
In New Zealand's sun, anyway. Yeah, but I think it's an interesting idea.
Yeah, have a look at this article, guys. You might, find yourself becoming...
an acorn owner.
An acorn owner. That's it.
I think it's called a local bee. There's companies called Local Bee.
Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. Thanks, Will, for getting back to me today. I'll drop you a line when this podcast is released.
Absolutely. And C4 sugar in Manuka honey.
What's this?
Give me some sugar, my little honey bee. An article from The Business of Bees by Karen Knight. Sugar has been found in some exported honey. So this article talks about that. And what does it say?
It says honey that is exported has to pass a whole raft of tests, including normal food type tests. Does it contain poisons like tutin? Does it contain bacteria? Does it contain impurities? Plus some special honey tests, and testing for adulteration with sugar is one. So they're trying to see if there's been some sugar feeding done into the hive. Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually a good article, and after reading it, I did some connection to some of the articles she's linked to. Some of them don't work, by the way, so I ended up seeing nothing. Okay, and I actually had a look at, because I think that the new rules might sort this out, and there's a link that I've put in the show notes that just talks about ExportX.com, and it tells you how they work out all the ratings, and that's for exporting honey from New Zealand and some other countries. So have a look at that article, guys, and it'll just give you a bit more information on the whole way that these things work and what UMF is and MGO and the oomph and all that we were talking about on the other
show.
On the other show, 107.
Yes, absolutely. So this is a great article by Karen. And the next one's a bit of a controversial article.
Yes, I'm not sure about this one. Anyway, treatment-free. Beekeepers give Varroa Mite free rein.
And this is an article.
It's rather scathing, I think, where hobbyist beekeepers are concerned, and unfortunately not good press for those trying to be treatment-free. So do we need to follow the money trail on this one? Conspiracy theory comes to mind, but, a study has been released that say bee colony depends on beekeepers getting better education about disease control. And I agree with that part of it. Okay, so what does the article say?
Wow, what does it say? It says bee epidemics have become a growing problem for both wild and cultivated bees thanks to the spread of the cultivated European honeybee. The Varroa destructor mite is at core of the problem because it also passes on bee diseases. I've discussed this more at length in my earlier bee health piece, okay? The recent pan-European immunology study reveals that honeybee colony survival depends on beekeeper education and disease control. It shows that it's first and foremost hobby beekeepers who have trouble with epidemics.
Yeah. I'm not really sure about this article all round, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically saying that, well, she's kind of implying that treatment-free beekeepers in the US are the people causing the colony losses in the US. That's not what I've heard from people, so I don't know if I believe this. I don't think she's really proved a causal effect here between the connection to the two things.
No, because she mentions about wild colonies. So, I just don't know. This article just confuses me. But anyway, guys, have a look. And, we'd love to hear your views on this one.
Have a read, because it's quite extensive. And to me, it's funny how, because she mentions Solomon Parker, who we've had on the show in the past, and she refers to Solomon as the Parker Farm blogger. Doesn't actually say his name. It's weird, eh?
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, I don't want to discredit anything, but I read it and it doesn't work well or sit well with me, this one.
And this is from a website called Thoughtscapism. What is it?
Thoughtscapism.
Yes, and do we have any feedback about this?
Yes, we've had some feedback from the Bee Man.
The Bee Man?
Is it?
I don't know.
Anyway, they say Bee Man. And they say that the author of Thoughtscapism, whilst having a scientific background, has not researched this topic in depth, like many others, and unfortunately cites only research proving her viewpoint regarding a hobby versus commercial beekeepers. I agree that problems facing honeybees managed by humans are complex and multifactorial, with no one quick fix silver bullet cure. Many field trials on the effects of neonicotinoids are very short-lived and have been funded directly or indirectly. Oh yeah, there it is, the money trail. I think that is a good point. Anyway, by the large agrochemical companies who clearly have an interest in getting their products approved.
Yes. More recent work by many scientists, including Professor Gilson and Hank Tenicus. Yeah, we've had Hank on the show, haven't we?
That's right, we have.
And others have shown negative effects on all pollinators from pesticides, including this group. The half-life of neonicotinoids can be years, and the routine use of seeds coated in them renders the whole plant toxic. And the dust generated when planting often affects other species and leaches into the groundwater. Yes.
Okay, well, he suggests the author of this blog research the topic more thoroughly before demolishing small hobby beekeepers who choose not to treat against Varroa and who in many areas have the same, if not better, summer and winter survival rates than in treated colonies.
Yeah, because there was a survey in America, I can't remember the name, but the difference between losses between treating and non-treating was similar.
Okay, I think as time goes on, the Varroa are either going to get really strong because people keep using all these, man-made chemicals, and they'll get stronger. And if we don't watch it, the bees will get weaker and weaker. So, practices are really, beekeeping practices need to really be looked at. And in one context, education is key. Because a lot of new beekeepers don't understand what's involved with keeping bees now. And, let's be honest, commercial guys do not inspect their hives as thoroughly, in my view, from what I've seen, and regularly as we do.
Yeah, and I think she made a comment about commercial people don't have diseases or Varroa mites.
That really got me excited.
That's not true.
And not in a good way.
In this article, in the end, this highlighted bit, is that what B-Man said? Could the author please?
Yeah, it looks like it's been part of this comment that could the author please give assurances that she never has or currently does not receive any financial or other support from the agro-pharmaceutical industry. Good question.
Yes, indeed. You know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see this author of this go on to Solomon Parker's Treatment Free podcast and discuss it with Solomon, because she's making comments about him, and I think it would be great to have them both have a talk about it. What do you think?
I think that, it's like with this flow hive situation, if we report that there's an article about something, we like to get other people's feedback, and we appreciate that, and it just gives a more balanced argument. So really, it's good to get both views, but in this article, there isn't two views. Anyway, I think that we should just consider that Varroa transmit viruses into bees. The nurse bees clean the cells, and if they have viruses, it's transferred into the clean cell, as it were, and then the bee grows inside the cell. It's fed by the virus bee further. So a Varroa may enter the cell and procreate and further spread viruses, while the Varroa feeding on the growing larvae. So if the brood comb is reused, cells may have several layers of viruses. So if you look at just Varroa, most colonies are failing from Varroa presence. And I don't know whether these wild bees that she talks about in this article are having the same issues. I just don't know. So I'm confused.
Yeah, I think it'd be good if she did go on to Solomon's podcast. I haven't talked to Solomon about that, so that's just my opinion. But what do you think? Do you reckon it'd be a good idea?
I think so, yeah. And I don't know if Solomon knows about that. She's mentioned his name in there. But anyway.
Well, he does, because he made a comment in the bottom of the article. So he is aware of this.
Oh, well, then there you go. I obviously lost the will to live as I was reading it. And, moving along
It's a long article.
It's a long article,
Let's
guys.
move on to a fantastic family in Northland in New Zealand. A Northland iwi turns family pastime into multi-million-dollar Manuka honey operation.
It's always awesome to hear of stories like this. Hard work and determination is the key to success like this. Had a bit of a chuckle at night lights and the stinging reality of working bees at night. Hits the bottom end.
Oh, that was a funny story.
Did you like that?
Yeah, that was
awesome.
This is a fantastic article, guys. I really encourage you to read it.
It's quite historical too, because there's like generations of understanding behind what they're doing today, and that really connects, with me in terms of, having that behind you always helps you in your now. So, you're reading that, Gary.
Yes, and the quote from the article is, a young mum is the face of the Manuka honey industry that is turning what was once considered wasteland into liquid gold and bringing jobs and prospects to the Māori in the area, including her far north community. And this is a great article. We must try and get them on the show, eh?
Yeah, went and had a look at their website, which is Kai Ora Honey. And I tell you what, it's a wonderful website, and there's a lovely button there, and I thought, I've got to push that because, as you do, the little arrow, and an awesome song came up, so you get entertained as well.
Yes, absolutely. And we had some feedback from Dean Todd. What did he say?
Awesome!
Yeah, I agree, Dean, it's awesome.
And Christopher Dempsey says, well, Myrtle Rust will put a stop to that.
Oh, so negative,
oh my
Chris.
gosh!
So
and if they voted national, they got got what they deserved. National gutted dock and tried starving biosecurity.
I agree with that.
Yes, and I know that around 2013, the government laid off about 320 staff in the Department of Conservation. And now they're trying to claw back stuff and justify all their works that they're doing now. But they need more staff. That is the bottom line. And, they're also considering ridiculous ideas to use Department of Conservation land for extracting water from our resources and letting them take it overseas and wreck our land. Oh my God, this is the tangent that will keep on going, guys.
What about that Disneyland-like kind of thing in the caves down south? That was hilarious.
Yeah, I don't understand what is going on with the Department of Conservation in New Zealand. What are they thinking? This is our land, and these natural resources, you keep cutting them up and putting a little light here and a little light there. You're actually changing the whole ecosystem. God, get your beep together, guys. And, if they lay off...
I don't think it's the staff. I think they're just trying to make more money.
I think that the loss of the staff has meant that they are trying to claw back something. Then they might be able to justify rehiring people, but the loss of over 300 staff back then really caused a great deal of issues. They weren't cleaning the toilets regularly, no matter what they say on the news.
Yes, true.
So that's a whole blimmin' issue that's going on here in Kiwimana HQ in my head.
Exactly. What does Van Driver say? This is hard to read. And then they have to come as a stringent new UMF verification process. Oh, come under. That's what he means.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, well, that's true because the new testing for Manuka, which will be good, I guess, but some people don't like it.
Well, I think the reality is that article about C4 is that honey can be undermined by overfeeding sugar syrup, So the best thing for bees is what, Gary?
Honey.
Their own honey, that's it. So, chucking sugar water at it all the time is not the way to go. But anyway, yeah, that's true.
Let's move along.
Thanks, Van.
Okay, we're moving on now to questions from you. And we've got a question from Lisa, who actually recorded a message. Thanks, Lisa. 2 messages in one show. That's awesome, isn't it? Here's Lisa's question.
How do you know when you need to feed your bees?
Yes, good question. So what do you think, Margaret?
I have calmed down, by the way, guys. I have calmed down. Okay. So one way is to put feed in and see if they eat it.
Yes, that's one way.
Others asked if you put feed in, what type of feeders can you use? And there's lots of different types out there, guys. There's plastic top feeders, there's plastic frame feeders, there's plastic bottle holders, or DIY where you use a preserving glass jar with pinholes in the lid, raised up a bee space so the bees can go underneath and feed from it. It's slightly raised up and it's just placed in an empty hive box sitting on a hive mat with a hole in it. Or maybe just keep some of their own honey for them. Hey, that's a trick, isn't it? Who'd have thought of that?
Yes, but sometimes if you're a beginner, you don't have any honey, and if it's a swarm, you don't have any honey either, do you?
Yeah, but you've got to allow them to build that up. I mean, it's quite natural that a new colony is going to take time to just build up, and if the seasons are tough, having some resources in the background, guys, is a really good idea. So anyway, if you do extractions from your frames, decapping some cells in the middle of a frame and place it next to a pollen frame, so right in the middle where the cluster is, then it's easier for them to feed off it, and it doesn't open too much cells to drip out and cause robbing opportunities.
Indeed, and the other reason, well, here's my answer to if you want to see, should they be fed, have they got any feed in the hive? If they've got hardly any, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't there a trick that they say is that you go and lift up the back of the hive? And if
you mean the heft test?
Yeah, the heft test, and if you flip your hive over... That means you've got nothing in there, so forget about it.
Well, you've done that before, haven't you?
Forget about it.
Remember that time you rolled a hive down a hill?
No, that was you.
Okay. It's not how I remember it.
Oh, no. It's always like that with two different people, 2 different points of view.
I remember it rolling down the hill, but that wasn't a funny story. Anyway, if you've got a question, you can leave a message on the SpeakPipe button on the side of our website, or you can record it on your computer and email it to us.
So do you think we answered Lisa's question? That if the hive's really light, they've probably eaten all the honey, and if the hive's really heavy, then there's probably sufficient in there.
Yep, that's another good way to do it. Because what you can do is when it's going into winter and it's all got full of honey, you can just lift the back and see what it feels like, and just keep checking it throughout the winter.
So so the things is checking the weight of the hive, and checking actually in the hive if you can, as long as it's good weather and all that stuff, and put some feed in and see what they do with it.
Yes, indeed. And sometimes you can't use sugar syrup, can you, in the middle of winter because it's too cold and they won't dehydrate it. So sometimes people put just normal sugar with a little bit of water, like a dribble of water. Sometimes do that.
Oh, yeah. I've also read that some queen breeders actually put raw sugar in there, just dry raw sugar, and it's okay as a quick feed, but not a long-standing feed for long term. So it's just a quick bit of energy for them.
Okay, this week we have random reviews. We read a random review, and you get...
Yeah.
And the winner receives a $30 gift voucher.
So it's a product review from a customer who might get some of their money back, eh?
Yes, indeed.
The only way that you can claim this, guys, is by getting in touch with us within 2 weeks. And, of course, you have to listen to the podcast. So, win-win. So, when we release the date to claim your prize, you may be lucky. $30, man.
Absolutely. Let's consult the computer for a random number.
winning number is
4.
4. Who's number 4? Number 4 is Mary Ann Dasray. And she bought some Epi-Life Var organic Varroa treatment. And she says, only just treated my hive with this product, so I'm awaiting result. I must say, however, that I personally love the smell and I'm sold on the product being organic. Service was quick and Kiwi Mana folk very admirable and honest.
Amiable.
Amiable and honest. That's good.
That sounds like us. Perfect.
So I'm expecting fantastic results. Definitely going to use this product again. Well, thanks, Marianne. That's fantastic.
And how do you spell her last name?
Ducray. So, Marianne, get in touch within 2 weeks of the show.
So it'd be Marianne Ducray.
That's it.
Okay.
So get in touch within 2 weeks and you can claim your Kiwi Mana gift voucher.
Okay, guys. Well, it comes to that time in the show where we usually go to feedback from you, but I just want to give you guys some feedback. I think you guys are awesome. You guys have been keeping us motivated and, you know, just all your comments have been just so inspiring and helpful, and we're learning too from the things that you send us. And, you know, as we now settle into our winter, as we sit by the fire, we'll be thinking of new ways to entertain you and hope that you find all of the work that we do of value. And, yeah, we're going on a bit of a break.
Absolutely. And thanks, guys, for listening throughout the year. It's been great, isn't it?
Yeah, when you listen to the show, you're actually listening to a part of us that loves bees. Thanks you for joining us and helping save bees and wanting to learn. And, yeah, if the last round of students are anything to go by, we are definitely on the right track.
Yes, indeed. We've got some feedback. Let's get some feedback.
Yeah, awesome.
Feedback from you fantastic people. And the first one was from Fitbit, new section. And that was from...
Are you getting sponsored by them or something, Gary?
I wish I was.
Yeah, you had to buy your own Fitbit tool.
If you're from Fitbit and want to sponsor the podcast, get in touch.
Absolutely.
Anyway, from Patrick in Ireland, he says, "Hi Gary, thanks for accepting my friend request. I enjoy listening to yourself and Margaret regularly on the Kiwi Mana Buzz podcast. Hope Fitbit goes well for you." Yes, thank you, Patrick.
Awesome.
It's awesome.
Where's he from?
Ireland.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Yes, indeed. I've been watching a TV show called The Moon Boy. It's really funny. It's like a comedy.
Okay, well, I've heard you on the treadmill chuckling away and laughing hysterically, so it must be good.
Yes, I find it funny, and it's got the guy from the IT crowd in it.
Oh, he's always a classic. Oh, that's right. He's the mate of that little boy, eh?
He's the little boy's imaginary friend.
Ah, yeah.
So if you've got Netflix, check out Moon Boy. It's quite funny. We had a new Patreon supporter.
His name is Justin Bumstead. He is a beekeeper and owner of Bumstead Family Apiaries in King Lake, Victoria, Australia. So if you need any honey or honey products, check out his website.
His website is localhoney.melbourne, so he must be near the Melbourne area.
Yeah, and Justin lives northeast of Melbourne. So thanks, Justin, for your support.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Justin. That's awesome.
Okay, and we've had an email from Sandy McCall, and it's about the sugar shake mite count video.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. What does Sandy say?
Well, Gary, you'll be pleased to know. Great sugar shake video. As a newbie, it's nice to see a no-frills, down-to-earth, informative video like this. What would be the maximum amount of mites in the shake before treatment is recommended?
Thanks, Sandy. I would say I say 3. Any more than 3, you should be doing some action, either treatment or doing something. And thanks.
Can I just make a comment?
Yeah, of course you can.
As I love to do. I think I'm beginning to understand that with Varroa mites, it's better off to be proactive rather than reactive. And my thoughts go out to the vaporization of oxalic acid method, which I am finding to be one of the easiest treatments to use. And from my heart to your heart, guys, this is a treatment that is so easy to use any time of the year, and it is so awesome. 95% kill. So this is where you start, we say monitor your hives, but I think what it is that you should be treating hives with treatments that are going to be more healthier for the bees and will keep on top of Varroa. In New Zealand, we have foraging 12 months, don't we? In the lower parts of the South Island, there's a bit of a shutdown, but up here in the North Island of New Zealand, where our temperatures are quite steady all year round, the girls will be going out and foraging, and whenever girls go out and forage, they're going to pick up some stragglers and bad stuff. And if your neighbours haven't treated, then you're going to get their Varroa, and they're just going to have a party in your hive. So you should be on top of this, preempting anything and treating proactively and getting all these things in place on a regular basis. And in the last newsletter, we said that even over in the States, there are beekeepers who are treating once a month. And I kind of been thinking about this. And if you've got a heavy mite load, I think that you should be treating more regularly.
Yes, indeed. But to be noted, oxalic acid is not legal in all states in America. So check with your local bee inspector.
Yes, that's a great idea. And I'm sorry for you guys, because this is a treatment that I really stand by and use on a regular basis, and it has achieved such great results. And I really believe it is the way forward for me.
And back to Sandy's comments. Let's get back on track here. And I like the way she say no frills, down to earth, informative video.
That sounds like us in general.
We've got no frills, but there was a little dance move.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I thought you tripped on your big suit.
No, because there's a loose bit of concrete beside the hive, and it started moving one way.
Oh, I see. It just moved without any inspiration.
There's a bit of secret for the bloopers. Anyway, let's move on to the Twitters. We got a message from Corinne, and she is actually an English language teacher in Japan. So that's cool, eh? And she says, I just listened to the most recent episode of your podcast. I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to keep listening, and I'll leave a review. Cool. Thanks, Corinne. One question. What is this banana thing about? And where is that voice from? Will I find out about the banana thing in older podcasts? Thank you, Corinne. The banana thing. What do you think?
Banana. Actually, the banana came about because of the Minions movie that I went to see with my grandchildren.
Yes, we went to see that, and we were constantly saying it.
They are so inspirational, and no matter what goes wrong, they're always... Banana! Yeah, they love banana.
And as we said at the beginning, the new one's coming out, Despicable Me 3.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
Which will have the Minions in it. So, Corinne, get out there and try and see if you can find that movie.
And Gary actually did send Corinne some information about the Minion situation, so that we're sharing.
Absolutely. Thanks, Corinne, for your comments. That's awesome. And if you like what we do and want to keep the Kiwi Mana buzz going, you can support us at kiwimana.co.nz/banana.
Okay, guys, do it.
Absolutely. So thanks, guys, for listening to us this season, and we will be back next season fully relaxed and happy and joyful
As we always are.
Yeah, I know. And we'll have probably seen the new Minion movie, so we'll have some jokes about that.
Yeah, we'll update you on that one. And just thanks, as always, guys. Just awesome that you are with us and doing this and contributing. It's awesome. Participation is key.
Yes, indeed. And we'll see you in the new season.
See ya.
See ya.
Ba 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 banana, ba 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 banana, oh ba 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 banana, ba 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 banana, togari no potato rica ni malo manica no tica, ba ba banana, yo plano fu, la pano no tu, ma banana la camo pitara mo banana, ba banana, potato. Tocali no potato, lica, ni malo, manica, no, tica, ba, 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 banana.